the Tang Dynasty, there was a 3-cart theory and a 4-cart theory, depending on your interpretation of the parable of the burning house and the Lotus Sutra. The Madhyamaka school and the Yogācāra school preferred the 3-cart theory, and then Tiantai and Huayan preferred the 4-cart theory. And if you think more about why this would be, and you think about the thinking that each of these schools have and what's different about their thinking, if we start with the Madhyamaka school, the Sanlon, according to Nagarjuna, everything is empty. So these questions about, is there a 4th cart? Well, actually all of the carts are empty of real and permanent existence. So that makes sense that the Madhyamaka school would take the 3-carts theory. And then the Yogācāra theory would be, well, all of these things are conditioned in your mind, that none of these carts are ontologically real. They're based on your own perception. And that once you overcome your delusions, none of the 3 carts were ultimately real. And so there's not a 4th cart. It's just that you overcome your perception of the other 3 carts. And then as far as the Tiantai is concerned, in Juri's writing, there are 4 carts. And this goes along with Tendai's idea that there's 4 different types of teachings in the Buddha Dharma. There's the Tripitaka, and then there's the individual teachings that differ by different traditions, and then there's the shared teachings, and then there's the perfect teachings. And so in a sense, the Ekayana in the Lotus Sutra is a reflection of the perfect teachings, so it's a different vehicle. And the same might be said of Huayan as well. Another reason that this matters, not just like to tell the different points of the different schools, is if you think about what this says about reality, what this says about upāya, skillful means, and other things, that this is important. So for the schools that are the 3-cart theories, it's basically that you overcome your ideas that these are real, so that the truth already exists, in other words. So what the teaching behind the 3-cart theory is that you need to understand what is already there. And then the 4-cart theory is there's gradations. And so there's real stages that people would go through in order to reach the 4th stage or the 4th cart. And of course, in the Lotus Sutra, the 3 carts correspond to the Shravaka vehicle, the Pratyeka Buddha vehicle, and the Bodhisattva vehicle. So the question is the Bodhisattva vehicle and the Buddha vehicle the same, or is it different? And one thing I think interesting about this Tang Dynasty discussion that went on for a couple hundred years is that actually the Lotus Sutra is broad enough that it can accommodate both of these kinds of interpretations.